The first crack in my marriage didn't sound like a scream. It sounded like laughter, low, intimate, meant for someone else. I was standing in the hallway, outside our bedroom when I heard it. Her voice softened into something I hadn't heard in years. Not for me. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. There's a particular tone a woman uses when she feels chosen, claimed, desired. I memorized it. Then I stepped inside. She was sitting on the edge of the bed, phone pressed to her ear, back to me. One hand twisted in her hair, bare shoulder exposed like an offering. She didn't see me. "I miss you too," she whispered. A pause, a smile. I know he has no idea. I watched her reflection in the mirror. Watched the lie live on her face. I didn't confront her. I didn't need to. Truth doesn't run when you chase it. It waits. And I've always been patient. The affair wasn't dramatic. No lipstick stains, no late-night perfume, no sloppy mistakes, just small fractures. Passwords changed. Calls taken outside. A new gym membership she never mentioned. She started dressing like she was auditioning for a life I wasn't in. And the girls, our daughters, began mentioning a name. Mom's friend. He bought them ice cream. He helped with homework. He came by when I was working late. I started coming home early. She didn't notice. She was too careful with him. Too careless with me. One night I asked her casually, "You happy?" She didn't hesitate. Of course. That's when I knew. Happy people don't rush their answers. They feel them. I began to observe like a stranger in my own house. How she checked her phone under the table. How she smiled at nothing. How she flinched when I touched her shoulder. But the worst wasn't the betrayal. It was the way she looked relieved, as if she'd already left, as if I were the guest. And then one afternoon, while cleaning out the garage, I found something that didn't belong to me, a child's drawing, 4 stick figures, mom, 2 daughters, and him. No father, just erased space where I should have been. I stared at it for a long time. Then I folded it carefully and began planning. Rage is loud. Strategy is quiet. I chose quiet. I hired a private investigator. Cash. No paper trail. I accessed phone records through an old business contact. I ran timelines against receipts. Every lie has a rhythm. Theirs was consistent. Tuesday afternoons. Alternate Saturdays. School pickups. I requested DNA tests under the pretense of a school. Health requirement. Routine. Harmless. She signed without reading. That hurt more than the results. I kept smiling. Kept kissing her forehead. Kept saying, "Love you." She started staying overnight with friends. I started sleeping better. The investigator sent photos. Her hand in his hand on my daughter's shoulder, him pushing them on a swing. I studied his face. Confident, comfortable, integrated, like he belonged. And then the final envelope arrived. Official, clinical. 3 pages that rewrote 16 years of my life. I read it twice. No, 3 times. Not because I didn't understand. Because I needed the shock to calcify. I poured a drink. Didn't touch it. Just watched the ice melt. 2 daughters. One mine, one not. I felt nothing at first. Then something colder than anger settled in. Precision. She hadn't just cheated. She had rewritten biology and let another man raise my blood while I raised his. I closed the folder and waited. The confrontation happened on a Thursday. She was already irritated. We were arguing about something small. Dishes, time, respect. Then she said it. Curled her lip like she'd been waiting. "At least my lover is a real man." Silence filled the room. I didn't yell. I didn't flinch. I simply reached into my briefcase. Slid the thick folder across the table. Met her eyes. He's been raising my daughters. Confusion flickered. Then annoyance. Then the color drained from her face as she opened it. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Her hands started shaking. "This isn't," she began. I tilted my head. "Finish that sentence." She couldn't. Because the truth doesn't argue. It sits there. Signed. Stamped. Unforgiving. The room felt smaller. She looked at me like I was someone new. I was. Her eyes widened. I wanted to be sure. She tried to speak. To cry, to pivot. I raised a hand. Not to strike, to silence. I transferred the house into a trust last year. Pause. The accounts were separated. Another pause. I filed for divorce this morning. She stared at me like gravity had changed. You can't. I already did. Her lover, her safety net, her real man, he'd been raising my daughters. Yes, but he'd also been paying child support. Unknowingly. The investigator made sure of that detail. I leaned back in my chair. Calm. You replaced me, I said. So I replaced you first. The devastation in her eyes wasn't dramatic. It was structural, like something inside her had collapsed. She realized too late that she'd been playing checkers. I'd been playing chess, not in anger. In clarity, I kissed my daughters goodbye. All of them. Because love doesn't evaporate with DNA, but trust does. As I closed the door behind me, I didn't feel broken. I felt precise. She thought masculinity was loud, dominant, explosive. She never understood restraint, never understood silence, never understood the man who watched, calculated, and waited. In the end, I didn't destroy her. I revealed her. And sometimes the truth is the cruelest weapon of all. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I didn't even look back. Because the moment she chose him, I had already chosen myself.